Hello guys, Termex here, and welcome back to another Borderlands video. Today I got some news for you. Gearbox is going broke. What is actually happening is Embracer Group, you know, the company that bought Gearbox, I think it was like $1.9 billion or $1 million, I don't know how much it was. It was a lot of damn money. They are trying to sell Gearbox now, 2 years after buying it. So now Gearbox is going to be stuck with no funding, no publisher, basically turning into an indie studio, unless Xbox or PlayStation can pick up the slack. Now I want to talk about this. First, let's go into Xbox, because this is the more likely candidate to who's going to buy Gearbox if it really comes down to this. And if I were to choose a lesser of two evils here, I would take Xbox over PlayStation. And here's my argument to that. Xbox generally gives more of a shit on their titles. Not all of them. Please, I know what games you're talking about. I know they're not good, but Xbox usually cares a little bit more. And another thing, Xbox doesn't keep all of their games super exclusive. Like Call of Duty, they kept on all platforms. Ark 2 is going to be exclusive for a few months, but then it's going to PlayStation. And I think Borderlands would follow suit. They would take advantage of the franchise to the point where they would make it exclusive, make people buy an Xbox for like a month or two, and then be open to every platform, kind of like Epic Games did with Borderlands 3 on PC. All the PC gamers know what I'm referring to. And honestly, that's not that big of a deal. If it came down to it, I think I could live with Xbox owning Gearbox and publishing the rights to Gearbox. Not saying it's the best thing for the franchise, I'll get into that later. Let's talk about PlayStation real quick. This is probably the worst case scenario for the Borderlands franchise, in my opinion. I feel like if PlayStation gets Gearbox and they get the rights to Borderlands, Borderlands is just screwed. And this is not exaggeration. I'm not being a PlayStation hater. It is just a fact. PlayStation is not going to allow every platform to play Gearbox. They're going to make it exclusive as shit. Basically God of War status type of thing where, yeah, good luck playing it if you're on any other platform but PlayStation. If you're on PC, nope. Are you on Xbox? Nope. Are you on Nintendo Switch? I just pray that whatever happens with Gearbox, it is not this with PlayStation, because I would rather see Gearbox go solo at that point. And let's cover that topic. What if Gearbox published their own game? I know there's probably monetary barriers, there's probably budget cuts, there's probably things internally that as a YouTuber, I don't know that what needs to happen for that to occur. But if Gearbox kind of goes solo, goes on their own ride, so to speak, I feel like it's probably the healthiest thing for the franchise, and they could do what they want. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was confirmed, I always been under the assumption that the reason Borderlands 3 was able to not be a cash grab in any real way is the Epic Games crossover that they did with the launcher, plus the Fortnite crossover. I feel like that paid a lot of money that would have otherwise been used for modern gaming bullshits, like battle passes, $20 skins you can't even see. Things like that Gearbox hasn't ever done with Borderlands, and I accommodate them for that. But on the flip side, felt like Borderlands 3 was all their budget went into Borderlands 3, and then everything else was just kind of like, fuck it. So if they did go solo, what would that mean? Well, first of all, it would mean they are not on any time crunch. They could post the damn game, publish the damn game whenever they so please. They don't have to make any monetary goals. They don't have to make a certain amount of sales per year. They don't need to meet any quota, which is great. They can take the game at their own pace and produce content at their own pace without having a publisher breathing down their neck. But once again, limited funding, which probably means the game's gonna be worse or lack certain features, lack graphics designers. So the quality is going to take a hit, or the weight is going to take a hit, because you can make up for quality with time, but that means Borderlands 4 probably won't come out for another 3 years, maybe 4, depending on if this actually happens. But if I'm being honest, any company with money is probably willing to snag the Borderlands franchise, because they know just as well as you guys do that there's certainly money to be made owning Borderlands. Are they profitable with Wonderlands and New Tales? No. Most likely not. I don't think they profited on Wonderlands. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be 100% wrong, but I feel like they didn't. But now there's another argument where people are like, well, the reason they're selling it isn't because Borderlands is poorly performing and sales are bad. Well, you're technically right. Borderlands sales are actually really damn good. And so is Borderlands 3 setting record numbers for the company, so why would Embracer Group get rid of them? Well, I present to you Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Nobody really loved these games past the first few months. New Tales, I don't think people loved for even a day. When you release 2 games that were just, in my opinion, in the nicest way possible, flops, there's not much the company probably wants to do with them. And at that point, there probably wasn't enough ROI to keep Gearbox, and that's probably the impression that I'm under right now. And if you don't know what ROI is, it's just return on investment. They invested a certain amount into Gearbox, and their return on the profits probably didn't meet expectations. At the end of the day, all this is for money, and that's how the gaming industry is, unfortunately. But like I said, Gearbox can definitely remedy this by just publishing their own damn game. But I guess my little 2 cents is I feel like whatever does happen, regardless, it's not good news. In any way, shape, or form, I do not look at this in a good way. You could argue, oh, well, if Xbox picks them up, they're gonna get more funding. It's Term X. They're gonna do better updates. They're gonna give us more content. But what's the trade-off? We get a Borderlands Battle Pass for $10 every month and a half. We pay $15 for a singular DLC, and, you know, I'm very scared what the monetization is gonna look like, because when it comes to more funding comes more ways to make money and more quotas to meet for, once again, that ROI. But New Tales from the Borderlands was just a very, very bad example of, good example, I should say, of how out of touch whoever's writing these games is with what made Borderlands good. And that is so damn apparent when it comes to Borderlands 3 storytelling as well. I seen a poll recently by Killer6, and the majority of Borderlands players actually want a good story, which kind of surprised me because I thought a good story would be the last thing people really wanted. Now, his poll had a little bit over 3,500 votes, and I know that doesn't speak for the entire Borderlands community. Hell, it probably doesn't even speak for me or you watching the video. But if you gave me 3,500 Borderlands fans in a room and told him to do a poll, I would trust that poll, if I'm being 100% honest with you. And real quick, I do want to touch on Wonderlands as well, because Wonderlands had a different issue. It wasn't really story. I feel like Wonderlands kind of picked up the pace and went kind of back to the Borderlands 2-ish roots when it came to the story, which wasn't that bad. I enjoyed the Wonderland story, but then they forgot about the game. They forgot about the end game, the cool raid bosses, the content, the DLCs, the new bonuses. You know what I mean? They forgot about the important things, in my opinion. But once again, everyone in the community has a different outlook unimportant. But that's just my 2 cents, guys. I want to make a little quick video, let you guys know my thoughts, the possible outcomes for Borderlands at this point. I still think whatever is happening, unless they go solo, it's a negative. It's an inherent negative, and there's nothing we could really do. We can't sign a petition. We can't go on change.org. I could make 300 of these rant videos. It's not going to change the outcome of what Gearbox does or who Embracer sells them to at the end of the day. It's just a matter of time. And unfortunately, the Borderlands series could be coming to an end with all this. And not in a very dramatic, oh my god, they're gonna stop making games way, but in what we've known as Borderlands and what we've been used to, and the freedom of Borderlands can easily be stripped from us within a matter of weeks here. And just be prepared, because I'm sad. I'm sad as a Borderlands fan, and I don't know what's gonna come up next. And you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Once again, I'm just a YouTube guy. I don't know the ins and outs of companies and Embracer Group, but I just know that whatever's up next for Borderlands isn't looking good. But if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure you hit the like button down below, as it does spread out my content more out to the Borderlands community. Make sure you guys subscribe so you never miss out on another video from me. But you guys have a terrific day, stay safe, and I'll see you all later.